Yo, what's good? This is Casey for L King Self for Life Wrestling Takes, and you're now watching Casey for L Wrestling Takes Show. What's good, everybody? It's your boy Casey King Self for Life Wrestling Takes, here to give you my honest take about AEW Dynamite 7/5/23 edition, live from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. First and foremost, let's start off. They was 100% better than Hamilton. Hamilton, they was somewhere asleep. This episode, they made a whole bunch of noise the entire show. That's what makes the show better. When the crowd is into it, you know you got yourself a great show. This episode was 100% better than last week. There was a couple of things on the show I wouldn't have never decided to even put on the show. Because when you put bull jive on the show, it just kills the vibe of a whole show. Stupidity just destroys a show. Even when you have a decent to great show, stupidity will always kill the show. Look no further than what happened on Monday Night Raw. What the clown was Cody Rhodes doing in wrestling gear just to come right back out there in the suit to cut a promo just so the fans can say, whoa, stupid, idiotic. But we ain't here to talk about Raw. We here to talk about AEW Dynamite. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and start off. And as usual, Tony Khan couldn't help himself. He couldn't wait. Every week, this fool has to start the show. I do not need to see this clown on the show. He needs a break, but TK said, no, we got to get my man OC back in front of everybody. But what TK decided to do, he said, I'm going to open up with a promo backstage. We had Darby Allin and Keith Lee talking with, what's her name? DDP's daughter. Talking with her, and he said this. He said, look, I respect the mess out of you, Keith Lee, but let me tell you something. The Keith Lee I know wouldn't even be bothered with this. I mean, I tag with you, but word on the street is you've been in the back complaining about you not getting the proper opportunities. So are you just going to sit back and complain and have your head up your butt? Or are you going to beat the brakes off of me and OC and win this match by yourself? Show me who the real Keith Lee is or whatever. And then Keith Lee, after Darby walked off, Keith Lee said, that was bold, stupid, but bold. You know how Keith Lee do. So we get the matchup, and obviously you already knew what was going to happen. You knew dang well these two wasn't winning. That's why, I understand he's trying to make story But ladies and gentlemen, putting us together just to rip us apart is not what gets us to care about matches. I'm just telling you the bold-faced truth. It's not. Like I said, these two should have been beating the brakes off each other a long time ago. But that's not what TK wants to do. TK wants to keep trying to make something, but it's not there. It's not. So you already knew it was going to happen. You knew these two was going to find a way to come out with the victory. That's exactly what happened. Swerve accidentally, quote-unquote, kicked Keith Lee, fell out, and Darby and OC pretty much beat the brakes off of Swerve, and that was the end of the match. Absolutely nothing. And they won. So afterwards, here go Keith Lee dapping up with both Darby and OC. Like, no further storyline, nothing. It just shows that Keith Lee and Swerve had no business being back together. In the whole match, Keith was trying to do everything by himself. I mean, then you got Prince Nana and them acting a fool, clowning out there. I'm like, TK, I know what you're trying to do, because there's a lot of people who think that you are a quote-unquote low-key white supremacist. There's a lot of people that think that way. And you know what? Sometimes you come across like that. I know you was at that all quote-unquote white party by that boy Michael, and everybody and their mama know what the clown was going on over there at that party. All the elites from Tom Brady to James Harden to Kevin Durant to all them other clowns that was out there. We all know what was going on at that all-white party. So I'll say that for another day. But this ain't it, Tony Khan. This is not it. Then, unfortunately, what's finna happen to Swerve next week? It's like, why should I care about Swerve when you keep putting him in losing situations? You know dang well he not gonna beat this young man. I gotta talk about it. What's about to happen next? So, like I said, we got a promo from Darby Allin talking about him bringing in his good friend Nick Wayne. He was cool with his dad, Buddy Wayne, and he can't wait till he debut next week so he can beat the break off of Swerve. I mean, it's cool because the young man has promise, but you know he's not coming in there to lose. You know he's not, and it's unfortunate that Swerve has to be, and like pretty much Swerve has turned into enhancement talent, ladies and gentlemen. That's all he is. He's just, him and Keith are enhancement talent. Like that's it. That's all they have become is enhancement talent. They ain't really ain't nothing they doing is mattering. It's like, oh, we just got black folk on the show. That's not it, man. That ain't it, man. I'm just telling you a whole 100%. So if it was me, I wouldn't even had this matchup. I would have kept this bull job off TV. So you coming in the show starting off on some bull job, I wouldn't have done that. So then we get Tony Schiavone talking to Jungle Boy Jack Perry, and he talked about what he gonna do to Hook. Hook is a thug, and he won a shot at the FTW Championship. Next thing you know, Hook come out the woodwork and started beating the brakes off him, but he found a way to escape. He jumped in that truck just like how he did last week and escaped. So obviously he won a shot, so I'm assuming he gonna give him a shot. I don't know when they gonna wrestle, but and more than likely when he do wrestle him, you know Hook is losing the FTW Championship. Hook has never lost before. This would be his first loss. So I asked him was all right. But then we got a video package of Adam Cole and MJF working out in the gym. That stuff was silly as heck. They was cracking on this big dude, trying to crack jokes on him. MJF said some foolishness, and then Adam Cole said, but let me tell you something. You know who he remind me of? And they both said it simultaneously. Tony Schiavone. They both was lifting. I don't know how much it was on the doggone dumbbell that they was working out or lifting or whatever. They was quote unquote call themselves spotting. Neither one of them spotted because Adam Cole was on his phone. Then when MJF was supposed to be spotting Adam Cole, he was looking around and all that stuff, and then didn't realize that he can do this. And obviously he did a little bit more than he did, but I thought it was gold. I thought he did a great job. And then we come from a great segment like that to a dumb man match that made absolutely no type of sense. This is dumb blind eliminated tournament stuff, and somehow it's involving trios. I'm like, I thought it was only involving the tag team scene, but for some reason it's involving random trios, and we got the Bollywood boys teaming up with Blade, and they went against the Acclaim with Billy Gunn. I would have said this, probably put this on Rampage. I'm serious. I would have not done this matchup. This was just a waste of time. It really is truly a waste of time, ladies and gentlemen. I'm serious. Just a waste of time. I mean, you knew that they was going to win the Acclaim. And, Matt Scasser with his doggone raps and all this crazy stuff. So they won. They beat the brakes off of them. And then next thing you know, Harley Cameron with, man, y'all. This QT stuff is terrible. It's terrible. It's just tearing the show down. It's not going anywhere. I'm like, man. She called herself, said, I was trying to be nice to you guys. I was trying to be respectful because I wanted to show you guys that I could rap like you all. But you guys disrespected me. So guess what? You all are going to feel my wrath and all this stuff. I'm like, so then after she said a little dumb stuff, Billy Gunn hopped on the mic and said, I just got 2 words for her. Suck, and the whole crowd said, suck it. And that was that. Terrible. Then we get Moxley cutting a promo by Eddie Kingston. Now, Moxley was away. He was out there in Japan. I think he was in Japan. I don't know where he was at. He had some kind of death match where he was sticking straw wood in his head and all this dumb stuff. I'm like, listen, that death match stuff is just not my cup of tea. I'm going to be 100% with you. But the promo he cut on Eddie Kingston about how their friendship goes way back. It goes way back to 2009. He say he wants that Eddie Kingston back. He said this new Eddie Kingston that's just so caught up blaming his issues on everybody else instead of picking up his big boy pants and coming on board with them. He needs to come on. He said, I need the real Eddie Kingston. So please pick up your dang phone. Now, Eddie Kingston just won a New Japan championship out there in New Japan Strong or something like that. He just won that. I think who did he beat? He beat Kenta. He beat Kenta to get it. I'm like, kudos to him for doing that. But I thought this promo was great. So it's like this. This is what we did. We started low, then we went up, then we went back low again, then we started up, and it's like a dumb roller coaster. And I'm like, TK, let's cut the bull jive out. Let's completely cut it out. But then guess what Tony Khan said? I'm going to add some more bull jive. So we got Renee with RJ City and Matt Hardy picking his blind eliminated tournament partner. And so they picked, he's like, hey, you get the team with Jeff. He said, what, Jeff is my brother? He said, no, you get the team with Jeff Jarrett. I say, now, ladies and gentlemen, wasn't the stipulation that if Jeff Hardy did not beat Mark Briscoe, if he didn't beat that man, he could no longer wrestle on AEW television? How the clown is this fool allowed to wrestle back on AEW TV? This don't make no sense. Jeff Jarrett must have something on Tony Khan or something. He must know some stuff that we don't know, because this is just sad. You put the stipulation out there that if he cannot beat Mark Briscoe, he can no longer wrestle on AEW TV. Guess what? He's found the way to sneak his behind back in there. We getting ready to get Matt Hardy and Jeff Jarrett going against, later on, you're going to find out who their partners are. I said, what? I said, here we go again. We taking a dip down. I said, man, come on now. This was uncalled for. We didn't need this bull jive. We did not need it, but I get it. It's a blind eliminated tournament match, but still a tournament tag team crap. But Jeff Jarrett is not supposed to be wrestling anymore. That's what the stipulation was. How the clown are we going against that stipulation? Please make it make sense. You got to make it make sense. So here we go with some more bull jive. Killing the vibe. We just got a great promo from Moxley, and now we got this bull jive. So then we get a video package promo. Willa Yuta talk about what he plans on doing to Kenny Omega later on. I thought the promo was great. I mean, he sounded like he ready to go do what he needs to do. Then we come out to Jericho. Jericho comes out. The crowd goes completely nuts. Hold on, let me clear this up, y'all. Jericho's going crazy because he's right up the street. That's where he's from. So obviously, you know, he's going to get the babyface reaction. Crowd was going in. They were singing Judas is my mind and all this stuff. And he addressed the crowd about his losing streak. He's been on a losing streak. And he says he wants to get over that losing streak. And he wants to show this crowd that he's the best Jericho ever. And, you know, going back to his old stick that he used to have when he was in WWF with WWE at the time. And next thing you know, Don the Clown, Don Calis comes out of nowhere. I said, oh, okay. So the two of them start going back and forth about how both of them are in this business because of one another. Don Callis says that AEW is the thing because of him. Kenny Omega, that punk, betrayed him. Then he said, Jericho, I brought you in. Then Jericho said, well, technically, I brought you in. So both of them acknowledge that the two of them are responsible for why we got what we got today. So he offered him a spot in joining the Don Callis Association of the Don Callis family. He said, so you telling me you want me to join your group when technically I already got my own faction? He said, I don't join groups, I create them. But you want me to join your group. And the crowd, listen, let me tell you something. Everybody talk about Dominic, his heel power that he get. Don the Clown. I call him a clown, but man, the reaction that he gets, he's trying to cut his promo, and the fans are just booing him left and right. That is superb. That's what you call a heel. That's right there. That is heel work through and through. I love it. Excellent. So then he said, you want me to join your group? I just got one answer to tell you. I'll think about it. Maybe. And the crowd was booing. They was upset. So, the boys was in the back listening like, wait a minute, this clown finna turn on the... Wait, what is he doing? So you like, okay, it's just some stuff finna hit the fan, you know what I mean? Then we get a video package promo from both Samoa Joe and CM Punk about their matchup going into Collision for the Owen Hart tournament. And CM Punk talked about all the times him and Samoa Joe faced each other. He was never able to overcome them. But he said this Saturday, he's looking forward to doing so. And Samoa Joe said, yeah, that's great and all, but I'm going to do just like how I did all those years back. I'm going to beat the brakes off of you. Great promo. Then we got Roderick Strong selling the beat down. He had his neck in a neck brace, and the trainer was with him, and he said that we trying to get him back to 100%. He's not cleared to wrestle, but he said, I feel 100%. I said, yeah, right. 100%, and you got a doggone neck brace on. Stop it. So then Adam Cole come in and roll up. He said, hey, man, you good, man? He said, yeah, I'm good, bro, but I just want to know, what is this stuff with you and MJF? He said, don't worry about it, man. He said, he's just trying to butter me up. We're trying to see eye to eye, He said, you sure, man? Because I'm worried about it. He said, no, don't worry about me, man. I want to make sure that you're good. I just want to make sure you straight and all that stuff. Hey, you know who I thought about immediately with the two of them standing right there? I started to think about Kyle O'Reilly, ladies and gentlemen. That's the first man that came to mind because I said, interesting. Kyle O'Reilly is around the corner. And the moment he gets back and he see this dude trying to be cool with MJF, and he like, how you going to leave Roddy when the three of us made magic back in NXT? What the clown is you doing, man? Listen, it's some stuff that's finna hit the fan when everybody and their mama comes back. This is why they're setting the table for some crazy stuff down the line. I like this segment. I thought it was pretty good. Then we get the segment of the night, ladies and gentlemen. Adam Cole and MJF against The Butcher and Matt Bernard, a.k.a. Daddy Magic. This silly match was silly as possible. MJF is one of the biggest clowns I'm listen, man. He is the AEW World Heavyweight Champion, but he is taking this whole I got to be tight with him with Adam Cole and clowning and he just going to a completely different level. I say, man, you got your sports entertainment out of this like crazy. MJF's a clown. He is a clown and he's making it work, and Adam Cole is just doing what he got to do. Adam Cole sitting up there looking disgusted like, man, you tripping. So the whole time MJF played babyface, even though he wanted Adam Cole to cheat like him, he was playing babyface, trying to play, up to the crowd and all this crazy stuff. And the whole time they trying to, Daddy Magic and Butcher trying to beat the brakes off of him, doing all this crazy stuff. And you got MJF clowning, then Adam Cole get in there. He want him to talk about do the thing and do all this. Just clowning. So then he had wanted him to grab his hand so he can submit him some more. They was just clowning the whole time. And then Adam Cole did his move on I think it was Daddy Magic. He did his move on Daddy Magic and they won the match. So after the match, we had this man throw this man a birthday celebration. We had him talk about, is there any devil worshippers out there? Is there any Adam Cole fans out there? And trying to just butter the whole crowd up and all this crazy stuff. So this man bought him a birthday cake, got him doggone confetti. Just clowning. Then he sang happy birthday. Look, we all know MJF's a pretty good singer. Just clowning left and right. And so he was going to push his, so they brought the cake out there. They sang happy birthday, all this stuff. So he was going to push his face into the cake, but then he flipped it around and pushed his face into the cake. He saw it, he knew it was coming. He said, I deserve that. But he said, you know what, man, listen, with all due respect, I appreciate everything. I appreciate all what you're doing, and I consider you a friend. And that was it. All MJF is trying to do is just gain his trust. Because we know as they continue to keep getting these wins, we know as time moves forward to All In, MJF is going to do what he does. You know dang well to never befriend the devil. Never. He's calling himself the devil for a reason. You can never befriend the devil. So this is going to backfire on Adam Cole when time calls for it. But I thought this was a segment of the night. Adam Cole, MJF, they did their thing. Tag team match was a great tag team match. And that's that. So then we got Britt Baker talking about what Ruby said last week. They acknowledged that she was sick. She couldn't make it in. She said, I heard every word she said. She said, you talked all that foolishness, but she said, you can't take my pride. And she said, you just mad because I won the Owen Hart Foundation tournament last year, and I'm going to do it again. So then we get to the, we didn't get to the matchup. This time, we got Jericho, Renee Paquette, DG, and Sammy G conversating about the situation where Jericho said about him potentially leaving the JAS, and DG and Sammy ain't say a word. Sammy's facial expressions won this whole thing. I said, look at Sammy telling the story with just the way how he's looking. It's DG like, bro, how you gonna leave us? How you already gonna join Don Calis when you already got the JAS society? And Jericho said, listen, fellas, y'all gonna have to learn how to spread your wings on your own. I'm glad that you all were learning under me, but I can't baby you always. I can't. And then DG said, no, man, come on, we're an item, we're a team. And then Sammy just sat there. Now, Sammy ain't buying a single word that Chris Jericho saying, because he know how Chris Jericho move. And I said, that's the story right there. This whole storyline between Jericho and Sammy G is explode. Now that the fact that Jericho is ready to dip out, Sammy see it. DG playing this game as if he don't understand what's going on. I say, look, perfect. I ain't got a problem. When I say this storytelling left and right, I say, y'all want your freaking story? You got your story right there. It's all about DG and Chris. DG's facial expression said it all. But in the meantime, DG and Sammy are going to be a tag team, and they are going against Jeff Jarrett and Matt Hardy on Rampage, and they already said this is the 100th episode of Rampage. I can't believe it's been 100 freaking episodes of Rampage. Hey, that's pretty good, Then we get to the matchup. Now we got Britt Baker versus Ruby Soho for the women's side of the Owen Hart Foundation. First round for them, for the ladies. This was a good match. There was just too much cheating going on. Yeah, Tony and Saraya out there doing everything in their power to cheat for Ruby. I mean, cheating. But somehow Britt found a way to continue to keep kicking out. They even used Britt's belt to try to knock out. And my man Paul, for some strange reason, does not want to kick. Listen, Tony and Saraya must have something on that man, because he never wants to kick them out. They be cheating, and he see it. He be seeing it, and he don't want to kick them out. I'm like, kick they behinds out. Let Ruby win this thing by herself. Nope. They found a way. They beat her. They was holding on to her hand, and they found a way to beat it. Ruby beats Britt. She's moving on. And after that, they walked off laughing, and then the other two walked off. Ruby was still standing out there. And then who come running right behind her? You already know. My girl, Miss Sky Blue. Miss Sky Blue was standing there. She looked at her. She said, I ain't going to touch her. She said, I'll just see you next week. She said, all right. She said, it's my turn. We're going to see who's going to win, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to see. Because this thing is going to come down to either Ruby and Willow, or it's going to come down to Ruby. I mean, it's going to come down to Sky Blue and Ruby. Sky Blue and Willow, one or two. And speaking of Willow, she lost to the young lady that's one of the faces of the strong women's wrestling stuff. I think her name is Juliana or something like that. So Willow is no longer champion. She ain't got the belt no more. So for people who was crying about her having that championship, you ain't got to worry. She ain't got it no more. But yeah, like I said, I thought the matchup was decent. It was just a lot of cheating. It was just like, listen, they're heels. They're supposed to cheat, but you ain't got to do it all the time. Sometimes it's a little bit overkill. Like I said, you kill the overkill when you constantly keep doing it over and over again. Just do it when you really need to. You don't really need to do it all the time. But I understand they're heels, so you know what I mean. But that's that. So we get to the main event. So this episode was definitely better than last week's because it flew better. I told you about the bull jab that we got. We got a couple of things with some bull jab. We didn't need it, but I thought this episode flew a whole lot better. The crowd was definitely better than last week's, and we get to it. We get to the main event: Kenny Omega versus Willa Yuta. These two beat the snot out of each other. I listen, man. Yuta came in here like he was finna win, like he thought, oh, listen, I'm a part of the BCC now. I pinned Kenny in the pay-per-view, so what you think I'm finna do? I'm gonna pin his behind again. That's what he thought. And Kenny came out there with the concession tape on and all this, and there was a scene where Willa Yuta had did something to Kenny's neck, and Kenny was selling the injuries of everything that happened between him and Will Ospreay at the pay-per-view at Forbidden Door 2. But these two was beating the brakes off each other. They was tearing each other up. I mean, crowd loved everything that happened. So then you already know. Don the Clown came back out there, and the security fools was trying to block him. So my man Paul, I think Paul had this matchup. No. Rick Knox. Rick Knox had this matchup. Rick Knox got distracted. He out there trying to help the security folk. And who comes right behind Kenny Omega? The man himself. Konosuke Takeshita came out of nowhere looking like $1 million with that jacket on. I said, man, this was great. Him as this heel, I'm loving everything he's doing, man. Came in there and basically did his move on Kenny Omega, trying to help Willa Yuta. Laid that man out. Willa Yuta said, let me go ahead and jump on him. Let me try to get the pin. And Kenny said, nope. Them fans said, yes, sir. They was cheering. They was going crazy. Kenny Omega said, I got to finish the deal. I ain't finna let these fools try to get the best of me. Kenny Omega knocked the man out, did the one-winged angel. 1, 2, 3, got the match done. Then next thing you know, Takeshita and Claudio hopped in there. Basically, so now it's a 3-on-1, basically beating the bricks off of Kenny. And I said, all right, where's the Elite? Where's the rest of them? Next thing you know, they come running out there at the last minute. Young Bucks, Hangman, they come out there trying to take them out, trying to get rid of them. And then the matchup that's already planned for Rampage, once again, they're going against who? The Dark Order. The 3 members of the Dark Order came out there to stop them, and that's basically how the show went off. I said, you know what? What they should have did, they should have let the overtime go. I don't know why sometime TBS, Turner Broadcasting, Warner Brothers Discovery, don't let them just go over just a little bit. They should have kept that going. I get it. It's like, okay, you better make sure you tune in to Rampage. That's basically what it was. It was like a continuation. So it was a little bit of continuation that they kind of got, but they kind of ran out of time. I kind of would have just let them play that thing out because they stopped them from trying to beat the brakes off of the BCC. So as it's official, Dark Order are the heels in the group. They're heels now. Question is, who goes over on Rampage? That is one big question, because it seems like the Dark Order been losing every time they get in the meet, every time they get in there with the Elite. The Dark Order lose all the time. They lose all the time. So I guess she put them over. I guess, I don't know, but that's about it, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I gotta say. I ain't really got nothing else to say. This is a quick show. I was able to run through it because I was not home. I was out handling my business, doing what I need to do. But I thought this episode was 100% better than last week's. I wouldn't have had that first matchup, killed that first matchup, killed that trios match with the Acclaim and them. You get rid of that trash, and I don't need Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy becoming a thing. If you get rid of them 3 things, man, this show is a stellar episode. I'm serious. This show would be a stellar episode. You didn't have that garbage that you had. But you know how Tony Khan, I see you I won't see you get the show. I gotta have Swerve and Keith Lee look like bums, like too dumb, like bums. Tony Khan for you, ladies and gentlemen. That's TK. TK, he gets it and then he don't get it. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your boy Caseyfield, King Self of Life Wrestling Takes. I will talk to y'all cats later. Y'all already know what you need to do. I appreciate all the new cats that came out the woodwork. Hey, we're going to keep this channel growing. Hit the comment section up, hit the like button, and I'll see y'all cats later. Holla at your boy.